tell me what do you understand by Snowflake?
It's
No,
a data cloud.
actually, if someone asks that what is a Snowflake, then we can answer that it is a database which is situated in cloud. Cloud means like it is having many centers across the world where they are storing the data and giving the data to us when required on from internet connection. Okay, so it is normally used for DWH purpose, data warehousing purpose. Like now the question would be like why we want a DWH. So the answer would be like that in many big companies there will be many managers, CEOs, everyone. So seeing the past trends like what was the sale or everything, they make business decisions. Okay, so for making business decisions, they want a data set which they can refer to make some decisions. Okay, so for that purpose, we are using our data warehousing in Snowflake. Like traditional databases, what we are having, Postgres is there, SQL Server is there, Oracle PL SQL is there. Then we are also having Teradata. Okay, these are our on-premises databases. Like we will be installing the some operating system like Unix or Windows. On top of that, you will be creating some databases and you will be working on it. So now the loss is that you can't store too huge amount of data, or like if you like in Snowflake, you can have data in petabytes or terabytes data you'll be having. Okay, so to quickly access it, everything, that's why Snowflake was introduced, and Snowflake was came into existence in around 2013 or 2014. Okay, so but currently in all the cloud-based databases, it is having around 40% of share. The competitors are AWS Redshift and Azure Databricks. Okay, but Snowflake is very powerful. It is better than AWS Redshift and Databricks. So many companies are now migrating from on-premises databases to Snowflake. Okay. Now, like we like the on-premises databases are there where we can have incremental data load like that. Yeah, the data will come and it will be loaded into tables. But in Snowflake, it is batch processing. A huge amount of data it will come and it will be ingested into the tables what we have created. In on-premises databases like SQLs, if you would be knowing, there will be indexing the table to have a faster retrieval of data. Okay, but that we can't. But in Snowflake, everything is automated, and we don't need indexing or partitioning of the tables. So these are the benefits we are having, and it is much easier to understand and follow than most of the on-premises databases. Okay, so other benefits of Snowflake is that it can be integrated with a front end like a Tableau, uh, or it can be hosted on Azure containers or AWS S3. So if you'll be talking about AWS is a Amazon Web Services. They provide a storage location on cloud. It is called S3, Simple Storage System. Okay, so when you work with Snowflake, it will be either hosted on AWS, Azure, or Google GCP. Okay, Google GCP is not much in use. It is new and it is not as powerful as AWS or Azure. So simple storage system is the location where we are storing the data for various purpose, and it is very fast. The data retrieval is very fast. Not any outer maintenance of the data is needed. Everything would be coming and it will be auto ingested. We have to just create some tables, views, or some procedures like we can create it. Then we are having tasks and streams are also there. It is called as CDC, change data capture. Like you suppose if you want to track that which record was inserted or not, that also we can do using Snowflake. Apart from that, there are many additions of Snowflake what we are using, and in so that we will discuss in detail later. Okay, so now coming back to the PPT, what I was showing you. So, so 1 minute. So these are the topics what I will be going through. If you want, I can also mail you the topics like creation of databases, user creation and user of schemas, warehouses. Then what is scaling up and scaling down in warehouses. Now the question is that what is a warehouse? So as I mentioned before that when you are working on a on-premises databases, you will be having SQL having some operating system on which the the database would be installed. But and all the activities what we perform it will be done through some maintenance like the OS should be up or the database should be up and running. So these are the drawbacks what we are having. But in Snowflake, we don't need any such facility. We'll be having a tool called warehouse. Okay, so warehouse once we have selected it, we'll be creating a warehouse, and whenever we want, we can use it, and it will provide all the necessary environment which is required for performing any DML or DDL. If you want to perform, you can do it. So can anyone tell me what are the DDL commands and DML commands in SQL?
Insert, update, delete, select.
Yeah, these are DML commands. And there is one more command which is called as merge command. So merge is the SQL substitute for insert else update. Okay. So that also we can discuss. Apart from that, one minute. Apart from that, we have different type of tables are there. What we get with Snowflake, these are standard tables. Standard tables are nothing but the normal tables which we are creating. Then there are transient tables, temporary tables, and external tables. So talking about standard tables, it will be having a it can the data if suppose by mistake you have dropped this table or performed some activities because of that you have data loss or some data change has been occurred. Okay, in that cases we can retrieve the data like drop the table and undrop the table. Okay, so within 90 days we can do it. If you want the data in the table to be back, that we can do. Okay, apart from that, in standard tables, one more facility is there. It is called fail safe. Okay, now even after 90 days are lost, if you still want to retrieve the data what we are having in the tables, in that case, there is an option called fail safe. You write some emails to the Snowflake itself, and it will be populating the table again with the required set of data what do you need. And fail safe is for 7 days. Okay. And transient tables, we are having the recovery time of 90 days, but fail-safe are not is not there. That is the only difference between a standard table and a transient table. Talking about temporary tables, like temporary tables are if you come out of the session, the data in the table will be lost. So it is having some use which we can discuss. Okay. Now, what are external tables? External table means that if you have created suppose you are working with a S3 super storage system in AWS. So what will happen that if the data is coming from any source in AWS, then that can be treated as an external table. I will explain everything, how to create it, how to use it, how to integrate it with AWS. Everything I will be covering. Okay. So anyone wants to ask some questions? Till now, what I have discussed, anyone wants to ask any question?
Yeah, will you please elaborate more on transient and standard table? What is the difference exact?
The only difference is that in transient tables we will be not having the fail safe. I told if suppose there is a time duration of 90 days. 90 days, yes. If you want to if you have lost the data you can retrieve it. But in trans and even after 90 days if you want to retrieve the data, the Snowflake people you can write mails to them or any contact any of their spock. They will arrange and retrieve back the data what you had lost, and that is for 1 week, not more than that. But in transit table, you can retrieve the data in the last 90 days, but you will be not having any fail safe.
So does mean there is a what we say type of validity of the table, right?
One thing I'll tell you now, the question what will be coming to your mind is that can we convert a standard table into a transient table or a transient table into a standard table? Anyone?
Yes, yes.
No, we can't do it. Okay. So that
So Snowflake provide the policy of that, like means 90 days we can keep our data in the table, right?
no, I'm telling you, if there is accidental data loss, suppose if by mistake you give the table to someone and by mistake or because of any reason he have dropped the table or lost some data in the table or something like that, that data can be retrieved back within 90 days. That also I'll explain. I'll show it with examples and everything. Just for introduction, I'm just telling you the things what we can
Okay.
do.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. So now moving to the other topics like DDL commands and DML commands. DDL commands, anyone knows which are the DDL commands? Okay, I will tell. DDL commands are create, truncate, drop, rename, and check. Okay. So, but one thing what we can be noted is like truncate. Truncate means that you can delete all the records and it can't be retrieved back. Also in truncate we can't use the where clause what we can use with delete in our DML commands. But in Snowflake what they have done, they have made truncate as a DML command. So DDL command they don't need any commit after you have performed it. Okay, but DML operation if you want to make it permanent you have to commit it. Okay, DDL is auto commit. So that also everything I'll cover like yeah, like all the functions everything. Okay. Then there will be creation of views and secure views. Now, what's the difference between views and secure views? If like everything in Snowflake is user based, the role what you are using. If you are trying to use any other role and you want to see the DDL, like what the DDL inside that view. Okay, so that you if you have created a secure view, any other role can't see the DDL like what the from which tables, which columns you are retrieving that can't be visible to other roles. So that's one of the purpose of creating a secure view. Okay. Now I was talking about 1 minute. I was talking about transient tables and standard tables. So now I'm telling that it is that yeah, the data in transient table can't be retrieved after 90 days, but in standard tables the data can be retrieved after 90 days. After 90 days. So why should we go for a transient table or why should we go for a standard table? Okay, so normally the cost of everything what you are creating tables or views or materialized views, package procedures, everything you are creating, that comes with a cost. Okay, and if you think that the table is not very important, in that case you can go for a transient table. So that's the reason why we can go for a transient table. Okay, I'll explain everything with example now. There are many roles, predefined roles are there in Snowflake. Sysadmin, account admin, security admin is there. Okay, so all the roles are having their own functions, and apart from that, we can also create our own roles and assign them the facilities like it will be having what privileges that role would be having. So that also we can do. Query ID and query tag. These two are the options which we use to retrieve the data which we have lost. Okay, and the 90 days time is normally called as retention time and failsafe in different Snowflake editions. Like there are many editions. Standard is there, enterprise, business critical, and one more is there. Okay, so that the things what we get here. Creation of procedures. Acha, one more profit with Snowflake is that it supports semi-structured data. Like suppose the data is coming in Parquet or JSON format, in that case we can handle it using a Snowflake. But in traditional databases like Oracle or Postgres or SQL Server, we can't do it. Okay, so normally earlier the data used to come in the format of CSV or text files, but nowadays the data is coming in JSON format. Okay, so So that also we will discuss. Like then when you are inserting the data into tables, we will be requiring some stages, like staging table would be there. Like first we have to insert the data into staging table, and from staging tables we will be inserting into the tables what we have created in Snowflake. Okay, so there are different stages like internal name stage is there, table stage is there. So these all we can discuss. Creation of like we are having procedures in Snowflake. You people would have heard about procedures, am I right? Like in Oracle, we are having SQL Server, we are having same way we are also having procedures in Snowflake, but Snowflake here these are written in JavaScript. Okay, so that also we'll discuss. Okay, so all the topics I mentioned. Apart from that, I'll be also consider also discussing all the data warehousing concepts like SCD1, SCD2, SCD3. SCD stands for slowly changing dimension. Water data mart, Snowflake schema, star schema. Snowflake schema is there, star schema is there, fact tables, dimension tables, factless fact tables, fully edited, semi-edited fact tables. So these all things will discuss. One of the very common thing what we are having in Snowflake is it is called as cloning. So cloning we can clone our entire database or a table or a schema. Okay. So now the question would be like, what is cloning? Okay, cloning means that it will create a replica of all the, suppose you are cloning a schema. Okay, so the entire schema would be replicated. Now you'll be thinking if we clone the data would be the database size will become double. It should happen in the normal scenario, but in Snowflake, it is called zero data cloning. Even if we have cloned the schema, whole schema, the size of the database will not double. Only the metadata would be shared, and size will be same. And one thing more important is that the cloned object and the original object they will be not having any relation between them. Okay, you can perform some activity in the cloned one and another activity on the original one. It will not interfere with each other. Okay, so these are the concepts we will be discussing. Apart from that, we are having data retention time. Suppose we are having a retention time of 90 days. Okay, but if you think that I don't want this much time because it is the table is becoming very expensive. So by creating table, you can use this clause to limit the data for which you want the retention time. Like create table name, columns name, where that retention time in. If you put it 7, then after 7 days you can't retrieve the data. Okay. So now loading the JSON files, unloading the JSON files, these all object constraint construct everything I'll be doing. Do anyone of you know what are having any experience in Python? In Python there is a concept called pandas where we'll be creating the JSON format files. So when we start, I'll discuss that in brief, like how we are creating the JSON format for our use and how to load it into staging tables, from staging tables, how to load it into final tables, everything. And if you want to download the JSON into your local machine, that also will be discussing. Okay, now after that, we are also having functions are there. Functions are very important in Snowflake. It is more important than procedures in Snowflake. Okay, so if if there are some contents attached to your Snowflake like Talent is there, Power BI is there, Tableau is there. So these would be based on some views in the database. So that views we can use. And suppose if you want to hide some data in the view, in that case we are going for functions. Okay, so in functions we are not performing any DML operation. The other profit with function is that it supports both JavaScripting and SQL, both it supports. So that's one point. Apart from that, we are having creation of roles that I discussed before. Anyone wants to ask something?
We were talking about retention. So after 7 days, where we can keep the data, and
It will
it's
be in the table. Like suppose the data will always be there. If by mistake you lost the data and you want to retrieve back,
Mhm.
so in that case we are going for retention time. If you think that suppose once you have created a table and you want the retention time only to be in 7 days, so that also you can do. Suppose if after 7 days the table will not be involved in any major function. Okay, in major DML operation, suppose your table is not there, you don't want that table. In that case, you can go for data retention time in days. Okay.
Okay.
Apart from that, what the I, importance of technologies? High volume data means we have historical data that are useful for the companies to make decisions in past trends to make decisions for future. Okay. So that's I discussed advantages. It is very fast. Data is stored in cloud. It supports semi-structured data like JSON, Avro, and Parquet. Okay. It is hosted on Amazon, AWS, or Microsoft Azure, and can easily use their resources. Okay. It is only applicable for DWS. OLTP and OLTP is not supported. OLTP means online transaction processing, and OLAP stands for online analytical processing. So it is for OLAP. It is not designed for OLTP. Like Oracle, SQL Server, these can do OLTP, but Snowflake can't do it. They are working on it, and most probably in very recent future we will be having it. Okay. See, this is the classical console what we are having. Okay, so here we are having databases, shares, marketplace, warehouses. I talked about warehouses now. So from here you can create. Normally we are given one by. You can create it also. Okay, I'll name it training warehouse. Okay, size I think extra X. For our purpose normally we go for small. Okay, so size we have it. One second, 1 minute. Like size here you can see that it is t-shirt sizing small, medium, large, X large, too large. Okay. So here I'm going for a extra small maximum clusters. Like in suppose if you what can be the maximum cluster and what should be the minimum clusters. Okay. So here we are having a point till 10 like how many clusters if you want we can choose. So I have chosen it to be two. Cluster means that how much resources you are assigning to the our operation what you are performing. Okay, minimum cluster is either one or two. Okay, and one thing be sure maximum cluster should always be bigger than minimum cluster. That's one of the policies, one of the conditions. Okay, now scaling policy, standard and economy. Now suppose if you choose standard, then the normal rates what they charge for your operations that would be charged. Okay, but if you go for economy, it might take more time to execute your commands, but the but the credits what would be consumed would be less. Okay, not normally if you suppose there are some operations which are going on, and you think that on Saturday and Sundays not much load would be there. Okay, in that case, open the warehouse and and select it as economy. So it will take more time, but it will perform the activities what you are doing. Okay, auto suspend. Now, what is this auto suspend? Now, suppose some data you are getting, and after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you are not getting the same amount of data, or you're not, and no DML operation is getting performed. Okay, in that case, what you can do is that you can do it auto suspend. As soon as the any operation close, it will suspend, and so no need to worry about the. So when you are not, no data ingestion is happening, in that case it will be suspend. Okay, and this is the option what you are having, auto resume. Okay, so once again if the data starts coming, in that case if you have clicked it, it will auto resume and the operation will just carry on. Okay, so like here you can do, here is the store sequence. Okay, so from here you can copy it and run it. Okay, if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to do it same way you can do, and you can click on finish. Okay, see, one more warehouse is created. Okay, now talking about databases, like databases you can create. Acha, what, anyone can tell me what is the difference between a database and a schema? It is a simple SQL question. Okay.
Schema is the way data is arranged or
Yes, yes.
organized way.
Yeah.
For database,
Inside,
it's
yes,
data.
correct. A database can have many schemas inside it. Okay, and but many, and within schema we are organizing our tables and views. Okay, so that's the concept of this one. Okay, so this much I am giving introduction, and it is having a very good market share, and it will be in the market for next 20 to 25 years. If any better variant is available in market, so I think it is very safe to be in Snowflake because it doesn't require as much specialization as you want in your on-premises databases, and its performance is very good. And in the market today market it have acquired around 30 to 35% of market share it is having, and it is spreading very fast. Okay, and before starting with Snowflake, if you want, I will be discussing all the sequels and the data warehousing concept, so that once you get accustomed to it, you will be very, very, very easy for you to understand Snowflake like what you are doing. Now in SQL, we are having primary key, foreign key, unique key. Am I right? Check constraint is there. Okay, so we are having these constraints in here also for data modeling, but we can't enforce it. Only the not null constraint is there which can be enforced. That I'll show you with examples. So this is that much for the demo classes. Anyone wants to ask any question? Anything if you want, you can ask. No issue. So Anuj, Jayant, Shishti, Dadu, any questions you want to ask? What are any concerns you are having or anything you want to point out? जो भी पूछा मैं बता दूंगा. और स्नोफ्लेक आता होगा तो नौकरी लगने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. You will get a job very easily. Well, currently it is high demand. We are not getting, the companies are not getting profiles for Snowflake. Okay, so other topics in Snowflake what we'll be discussing would be tasks. Like if you will be knowing in Unix we are having cron job. And do you know what is cron job? We can schedule a task to fire at some time, at some particular time what we have set. For that purpose also we are having tasks here, and we are having streams. Everything I will discuss. Then there will be dynamic data masking. Like in SQL Server, we are having dynamic data masking. Like suppose if we are having table and there is a column which you don't want to share with other rows. Okay, so in that case we go for a data masking so that the data will not present to the people whom you think that they would not need it. So this facility is also there. Then creation, data monitoring, all the access roles, and one thing very important is that yeah, in traditional databases we can write queries, we can write data into a table through a view. Okay, but that facility is not there in Snowflake. I inquired it as much as I could have done, but I didn't found it. And everything I'll be discussing it with examples, and every question and every topic I'll be executing the commands. And at the end of the session, I'll be providing you some sample questions and a sample resume. So the resume what I send you, if you present it, I think it will be very eye catchy and everything. Whatever questions I'll tell you, like I'll be giving you 3 4 projects like on what you have worked. Okay, so that also if you are having any doubts, I'll be clearing it. Okay, anything, anyone, English, Hindi, anything you want, I can answer it.
Alok, after the course is done,
Hmm.
do we have any kind of real-time project work or something like that so that we can understand real-time how to uh, use this tool?
Actually, I'm telling that if I'll there is a online project they are having that that link I'll be providing. I'll be searching for it and provide to you. And but when I am giving you the trainings now, each and everything I'll do it practically. It is not that I'll just show you some slides and after that I'll go away. Okay, that will not happen. I'll execute each and how to create a procedure, how to function, and the data set what I'll be using to demonstrate this uses now. That would be also from very good projects. Okay, so don't worry about it. After the course completed, I'll give you a sample project and you can go through it. And there are numerous commands like if you want how you are inserting the data, deleting the data, everything I'll tell you. And once I give you the link to practice, because Snowflake we can't install it in our system. Okay, you have to create a URL, and on that only you can perform the activity. So that your URL we can link with AWS or Azure, but after 30 days the trial account will be lost. Okay, and after 30 days if you want to use it, you have to attach some credit cards. Okay, so what we do is that normally after 30 days we create a new account and practice on it. Okay, so don't worry, everything I'll explain, and I think you'll be in a better position to answer everything. And all the sequels, what how much comfortable you people are on SQL, like primary key, creation of primary key, foreign key, these are activities you know. Anuj,
Yeah, we are comfortable with.
Yes, sir, we
acha,
have an understanding of it.
acha, okay. In traditional databases, we are having row ID. Like if you want to remove the duplicates, okay, then you can use row ID in traditional databases. In Snowflake, we are not having row ID. So for that case, either you will be going for merge command. If the data is already present, it will update some column. And if suppose suppose there is a shop and you want to keep into account that on which day which customer came. Okay. So now if if the if the same customer comes the next day, you want to update the date value from the last to new one. That you can do. Or if he is a first time customer, you will be inserting the reports. Okay, so that way we can look into it. Okay, so row ID is not there, merge command is there, and the analytical functions row num, rank, and dense rank. So these three are very important. That's where you will be identifying all the duplicates. One thing more I just forgot to tell you, there is a concept called Snowpipe. Okay, for auto data ingestion. So that is integrated to AWS. That also I will discuss. If you want to use the files from, if you want to upload from your local system, then we are using put commands. And if you are trying to download it, in that case, we are using get command. So these all things should be discussed. And each and every topic in Snowflake which is possible till date, I'll try to cover. Okay, anyone want to ask anything?
Also, regarding the certification, will we be solving any like questions?
Uh, I can guarantee you, like whatever I'll be discussing, anything else would not be asked in certification. If you want, I'll also provide you a sample paper also. Okay. So I'm also a Snowflake certified associate, and now currently I'm preparing for a architect level. That also I'll be trying to cover in a 1 month or so. So if you want, I will give you sample papers, and apart from the sample paper, a sample questions, I'll be discussing each and everything. Just have the recordings with you, go through it. I I assure you no other question will be asked. Now, one question I'll just discuss. One thing I told you that truncate is DML in Snowflake, and in other databases it is DDL. DDL commands are auto commit, but DML commands, if you want to make it permanent, you have to use a commit. Okay. Now, other thing with Snowflake is that what I was telling. 1 minute. Shishti, what you asked?
Sir, I asked regarding the certification and sample questions.
Yes, sample questions I'll give you, and whatever is required in certification, I'll give you. Now, one question which came in certification is that many few people will be knowing it. Let me open my. Now, the question was that suppose we have created a warehouse. Okay. Now, what I do, like some query was getting executed, and I changed the min cluster and max cluster. I changed it. So then, what would be the effect? Anyone?
Might be query failed. Suppose previously it pointing to someone.
No.
Uh,
Okay. Initially, we were using cluster as 3, and we changed it to 5, and some queries are getting executed. So, what will happen? Anyone? Jayant, I think you were telling something.
No, no, look, I didn't say anything.
The answer to it is that it will not make any difference. In the current, now even if you have changed the min cluster or max cluster or the t-shirt sizing, what you will change, it will not make any difference. But when a new query starts, it will take the changes what you have made to the warehouse. Okay. And another question what came to me, which was very striking, was that yeah, in how many days new releases comes in Snowflake? So the answer is weekly. Okay. So these are the topics what we will be covering. Anyone wants to ask anything? Jan, Srishti, Anuj?
Alok, one of the question is like, do we cover regarding performance and related and troubleshooting some issues that we cover, or to set up a new databases like HIST and where we can capture
Yes,
administrative purpose?
everything I will discuss on you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for joining. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Alok. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.